Not 8 a.m. Thursday, December 4th, right here on Jocks. Your calls 800-239-9569 if you want to get in. You can still text into the show 205-834-9450. We were having a conversation about wide receiver rooms determining if you can go win a national championship. And the conversation that I had earlier in the week that we rolled into this show is, can you basically determine whether or not a team is truly going to be capable of winning a national title on how rugged their wide receiver room is, or how soft or how diva-like they are?
No diva-ness.
Not the diva-ness does not allow national championships. Based on our recent history, we went back and looked at them, and there are not a lot of national champions that seem to have a problem wide receiver room. We're not even talking about just being great there, which that helps. There have been some national champions recently that have had great wide receiver rooms. No one's going to deny that.
Yeah.
But also doesn't feel like there have been a lot of problem children in the wide receiver rooms of our recent national champions.
Mm-hmm.
So if we took that into our current rankings and we said, okay, we're going to use that to determine whether or not this season you can win a national title. Ohio State, I feel like that's good.
Pretty good room.
Don't feel like a problem there.
Not bad.
Indiana, not even close. They're good.
Excellent.
Georgia,
I like their wideouts a lot.
I think they're fine. I don't feel like that's an issue there.
I love their wideouts.
Texas Tech, how would anyone know?
They're fine. They honestly, I like their tight end. It's like my favorite weapon that they have. But it's really like their running backs are legit. Like it's really more of a cast than it is one specific position group.
Yeah, that's fair. Oregon.
Don't love their wideouts.
But
when healthy, I love them.
But if we're having the conversation of,
I love their tight end.
Is there a wide receiver? Yeah, he gets after you now.
Yeah.
18, he's fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
But is their wide receiver room a problem?
No. Gosh, no.
We're talking behavioral problems here.
Oh no.
Okay, so
well, I don't know. I mean, Malik Benson wasn't great in his last two stops, but
we haven't heard that it's
come into his own.
Yeah, we haven't heard that he's been a problem or an issue or anything like that. So it sounds like they're okay.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, I haven't heard anything
about
this group. They seem like they get after it in the screen game. Not a lot of them get a ton of catches every week, but they continuously show up.
I love their tight end too. Like Daquan Wright's awesome. Like they got good personnel.
So underrated.
Excellent personnel.
A&M.
Love their wideouts.
Go get it.
And I don't feel like we've heard about them complaining about touches or they'll get after you in the run game, screen game. They feel like they're good there.
Excellent.
Oklahoma.
It's
been an underwhelming year. No one's going to deny that.
I love Satania.
He's a good player.
I love Satania. I think he's excellent. I think the rest are fine.
Yeah.
But if we're having the conversation of if you have a diva-filled room, you can't win a national title. And I don't
Oklahoma ain't winning a national title with their offense.
Yeah, fair.
Based on what we've seen up to this point.
Right. They're not liabilities.
Yeah, but I don't think that they have a problem room.
No, I don't think they have a problem room.
Notre Dame doesn't.
Nope.
BYU doesn't.
Nope.
I don't think Miami does.
Nope.
Texas seems okay this year.
Yeah, they got a good group.
Vandy doesn't, for sure. So that might not be a problem for anybody this year.
Nah.
You're all included.
Appreciate it.
Everyone can win.
Let's go.
Everybody.
We're allowing everyone the chance to win a national championship this year. Now, if we just went on the room's ability, where would we go?
Who's got the best wide receivers in the country?
Or just which rooms of those that we just mentioned would we put up there and say that gives you a massive advantage when we're talking about going out and potentially winning a national championship? Like A&M's going to be towards the top. Ohio State's probably at the top.
I would say Ohio State 1, A&M 2. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Bama's 3. When it's full go. Full go, I'd say Indiana's right there.
But one hasn't really been full go this year. So
I don't care
are we
about
just
him.
going to assume that
I ain't worried about it. How's Lottie? Can he go?
Yeah.
You trust him? That dude can play.
Okay.
So I think like collectively, Bama's right there, y'all. I mean, just being real.
Okay. A&M? is going to be towards the top. We know that. Texas Tech. Are they more towards the top or the bottom of this list?
Bottom.
Okay. Ole Miss.
Top. Like if we're going top 12, they're 6 or better.
Notre Dame.
Probably in the 8 to 9 range. Good wideouts though. Like Malachi is a monster.
Yeah.
Faison in the slots, excellent. They don't have that presence at tight end as much as they have had in the past, but that's okay because I do think their wideouts are better than they've been. So I do like their wideouts. I think there's more in the tank there.
What about where is Oregon in this mix?
Towards the bottom.
Middle?
I would say 7, 8.
Yeah.
Like right there alongside Notre Dame. Like, but they got to be healthy. That's the problem. Like Oregon has the tight end, and Decorian Moore's great. Did hit a bit of a freshman wall and got banged up, so it's hard to know. And then Gary Bryant's been out for a couple weeks. Like if they're healthy, they're upper middle. But if with where they've been the last couple weeks, probably middle bottom.
So then if we combine that with who has our quarterback playing at a national championship level, Ohio State, Indiana move on.
Yeah.
They're in that mix.
Yes. Dante Moore's playing great.
So you're putting Oregon in there with elite wide receiver room and quarterback playing at national championship level?
Well, I don't know about elite wide receiver core room.
A&M can't be there. They have the receivers, but quarterback's not playing that way.
He has wild swings and emotion.
When it's Marcel mode, according to their Heisman packet they sent out, it's really good.
What?
Stickers on the door in the office if you'd like to
Marcel
see it.
mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes it's not there, and that's a problem. What about Ole Miss in that conversation?
I like their quarterback, but he's got a little bit of streakiness to him too.
Isn't it funny how we talked about that on Friday morning? We talked about that, and then when I'm watching the film on Sunday, he had a period in the middle of that game.
Yeah.
That was like 3 series of what is happening.
Correct.
And then like a lights out again.
How'd he start? How'd he finish?
Started out great.
Right.
Started out
He's going
great.
to give you 2.5 great quarters.
It's just crazy that middle of the game slump hits him almost every week, and there's no rhyme or reason for it. It's not even the same routes. It's not even same game situations, but it's just all of a sudden he's going to have dirt balls and balls in the stands, and you're like, what?
And then he lights it
And
back
then
up.
here it comes again. It's wild, but those the good portions of the streak are going to be really good.
Really good.
So, I mean it's just interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Do we put them closer to the top just in this specific conversation though?
Just quarterback wideout?
Correct.
No, I'd have him middle.
Okay. Oklahoma.
Ooh,
Such a tough case study with this.
Towards the bottom.
man.
Towards the bottom.
When I say bottom, like we're talking about top 10.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
You seen Mateer, man.
Like Mateer's a great runner. I think he's tough as nails. I like his vibe. I do. I like his vibe. My biggest problem with Mateer, bigger the stage, the more he tries to do. And the more he tries to do, the bigger problems that occur. You go watch how he pushed against Ole Miss, how he pushed against Texas, there are times when he does things he does not manage the game. That is my biggest problem. I love Mateer from just a baller standpoint. Like we're talking just balling out.
Yeah, just
He's a baller, complete baller. Dude doesn't
you're
manage
picking
the
him
game.
first in the backyard.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Heck yeah. Put him in the backyard and let's roll. Like I'll take him all day long in a 7-on-7 tournament all day.
Yeah.
And honestly, like 11 on 11, like make a play, dude. Let's roll. Like I love him. But if we're talking situationally getting me from the starting point to the finish line in first place, that's a hard. I don't trust him.
Yeah.
All the time.
Okay.
Like, and look, I know people always criticize the quote game manager role. You cannot win a national championship unless you know how to manage the game. No, this is the situation. Here's what I need to do to give my team the best chance to win in this situation. Hey, it's 4th and 5. Oh, heck yeah. I got one. I'm taking a shot. No. He got Satania on a whip route in the slot. Move the chains.
Yeah.
Like, take the shot on first down.
Is that his biggest issue? Is that
Yes.
he can't
It's
take
not
the
that
free
he
grass
can't.
essentially?
It's not that he can't.
Well, he doesn't.
He just hasn't.
Yeah.
Not on big stages. And maybe it's in there. Maybe come playoff time, maybe it comes out. Maybe there's big progress made there. But I think he tries to play hero ball a lot, and that's a really tough thing to do. Unless you're just an absolute monster, it's hard to play hero ball and win a title.
Do you think that I talk about the turnover genome in quarterbacks a lot and how you can't rewire someone out of that. Can you rewire hero ball out of somebody?
I'd love to say yes.
There's one great example of it.
Name
in
it.
recent memory. Bo Nix. Because what did everybody say when he was coming out for the draft about the offense he was currently playing in? It was dink and dunk. It was dink and just all the screens.
Yes.
It's easy throws. And then when he was at Auburn, you would say, hey, man, you don't have to do 7 360s in the backfield before we just throw the ball away. It was hero ball at Auburn, and then it was dink and dunk at Oregon. So he actually showed he went from what we're talking about with Mateer to say, okay, I'll just take the easy throw. I'll take the free grass.
Yeah,
I'll throw the screen.
I think that's a great example of maturing.
But I can't think of many others.
There's not many. Like if you got it and you want to play hero ball, you're going to play hero ball.
I'll give you another one this year. Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
And not has removed it completely.
Still has hero ball.
But has massively reduced the risks that compared to what he took a year ago. I talked to Tim Beck about it before the game, and he was just like, oh, it's totally different. And I said, well, how do you coach that out of him? He goes, honestly, I'm not taking credit for it. He's like, that's just him. He goes, I just think it's reps and games.
Yeah.
The more you play, the more you realize, like, man, that was dumb. I can't do that again.
Yep.
And he's like, or you never realize it was dumb and you just keep doing it. And so maybe that's where we are with Mateer. And maybe because Mateer's offensive line has trouble blocking people and there's not a real run game to lean on, there's a part of him in the back of his brain that's saying, I have to do these things or we don't have a chance to win. When technically with that defense, you probably don't have to do those things.
Yeah. I think there has to be like an understanding of when to press the gas. And I think Diego, look, there's still plenty of hero ball moments in there. Like,
oh no, I'm not saying removed, but it has dramatically been limited compared to what it was.
Well, I mean, it's not even exclusive to college football. It's NFL too. Like, why do you think, honest question, why do you think there have been moments in the playoffs where Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen have not been successful? Because it's freaking hero ball all the time. And guess what? They are unbelievable. Two of the best quarterbacks I've ever watched. They do amazing things, but it's hero ball. Guess who doesn't play hero ball all the time? Patrick Mahomes. He'll dink and dunk. He will slice you and paper cut you to death.
But it's weird because he makes it look like hero ball sometimes.
I know.
Right.
He's always doing too much, but that's beside the point. I still love the guy. But if you watch
the actual throws themselves
there's like
are
5,
not that.
6, 8, 10.
Yeah, but he's not thrown into triple coverage trying to fit all these windows.
No.
Like, just because he's not looking that direction or on the move,
He'll make a play.
or it's a different arm angle. I think we view it as hero ball sometimes, but the actual execution of the throw, it's really not.
It's not what you think.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I think you watch the highlights, you're like, oh my gosh. But it's really more efficient and precise than you realize. Why did Tom Brady win 7 Super Bowls? He wasn't playing hero ball. That dude was taking what the defense gives him.
Accuracy and decision making.
Why did John Elway at the end of his career finally win Super Bowls? You could say, well, Terrell Davis. That helped for sure. But guess what? He wasn't trying to be a hero all the time. He was taking those hitches.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Dan Marino never win a Super Bowl? Because it was hero ball all the time. My arm, that's all I had. Yep. Why did Aikman win 3 in the 90s?
Emmitt Smith.
And?
Michael Irvin.
And?
Jay Novacek.
And?
That offensive line.
And?
Moose.
And?
Dion.
And?
Charles Haley.
And?
Mark Stepnowski.
You already said the offensive line.
I know, but I'm individually going to give Nate Newton some praise. Alvin
some,
Harper.
The fact that you go Nate Newton and Mark Stepnowski before Larry Allen is absurd, but we can move beyond that. Why did he win 3 Super Bowls?
So to that point there that you're talking about, would that if we're describing that, would that be a direct qualifier for Mendoza and Saiyan? Saiyan a little bit different, I think. But I mean, Mendoza is essentially
Saiyan manages the game. He does not play hero ball.
No, he fits in some tight windows though.
He does, but he doesn't play hero ball.
That's what the plays ask for sometimes.
Correct, but he's not a hero ball guy.
You say the same for Mendoza?
No, hero ball guy sometimes, for sure.
It doesn't feel like
You're right.
It is.
Really?
I watched Penn State game. He was a hero at the end.
Right.
I can be.
But there are definitely
a couple big throws in that.
a couple big ones down the stretch. But there's a few times he's not like a liability, but there's a little bit in there.
Well, I think when we're talking hero ball, we're talking the extreme too. Like John Mateer's the extreme in this category.
Marcel Reed's hero ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
So should we essentially describe hero ball from a quarterback's perspective, Greg, of believing you can do things that most of the time are not going to be able to be done?
No, it's making a bad play worse. That to me is hero ball. Like bad plays happen. And let's just play like odds, percentages. Defense on average is going to win 50% of the plays. Are they not? Just natural averages. So defense is going to win 50% of the plays. They should. How do you give yourself an advantage? Because there are a lot more games that are gift wrapped to the opposition than there are games that are just flat out stolen because a guy took it over. There's a lot more games like that.
Okay.
So I've always thought hero ball is when the defense wins and you have a bad play. 10% of the time you can turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
But 75% of the time you can turn it into a disaster. And then the other 5%, you can turn it into like a miraculous. Like you pull a rabbit out of a hat, that's 5%. The other 10%, 10% of the time you can, turn it into a fine play. Let's say 20%. So 5% of the times you turn into a freak show, miraculous play, a highlight reel. 20% of the time, it's like, all right, we just live to play the next down. You throw it away, dirt it, whatever it is. Well, 75% of the time, it can turn into an object disaster. And in some cases, those plays are the ones that lose you the game.
And would you also flip that around to can make some plays that don't look like they're going to be great beyond great, like incredible? Or they can make plays that look like catastrophes all of a sudden great plays.
Yes, well, that's
what hero ball also.
That's what hero ball does.
But the percentage is much smaller.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. But we're playing the percentages here.
Yeah.
Like if a game is a deck of cards and I'm playing blackjack, hero ball is that dealer's sitting there with an.
It's probably hitting on 16.
They're showing an 8,
which I do, but you shouldn't.
They're showing an 8, and you're showing a 6.
We're here to win.
Actually, they're showing a 7, you're showing a 6, and you decide to hit. When in reality, and guess what? On the next play, you're gonna double your bet.
Yep.
And on the next play after that, you're gonna double it again. Eventually, you're gonna get got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that to me is a dangerous game. It might be 3 decks later, 3 shuffles later, but eventually you're gonna get got. And you're gonna leave the casino with 0 chips. It's the truth.
Yeah, because I cashed them in for cash, homie. Take that, casino.
Maybe. It's great points and an interesting conversation, which we will continue to have when we come back next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you being with us. Mark Schlabach coming up in 8 minutes. Interesting article up at ESPN.com on the departure of Lane Kiffin from Oxford to Baton Rouge. But we've been talking national championship potential. And one of the things, Greg, that we brought up a couple of weeks ago that I think may have changed just a little bit is who offers you something in this field that seemingly no one's going to be able to manage or do anything about. Like, who has an aspect of their team that is going to be able to put on display and there just aren't real answers for it. So I'll go down the list of teams and you tell me if you feel they have that aspect, and we'll discuss maybe what that is. Ohio State.
No one can cover their wideouts.
I don't think it's deniable. They have maybe the quintessential part of their team that not a lot of people are going to be able to do much about.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, compared to what it looked like the first maybe 3-4 weeks, the offensive line looks a little more gettable than it did early on. That might be your most advantageous piece to how you're going to deal with that, is to try to get to the quarterback. Not a lot of people have had success doing it, and he can get it out pretty quick when needed to. Indiana. I would say no, and it's to their benefit.
No, they're just really well-rounded. Like, it's a really well-built football team that can beat you in a million different ways. They're just really a well-rounded football team. And they've been healthy most of the year, except for their left guard.
And maybe in a different way, I would put Georgia in that category. Like, I don't think Georgia has a spot where they just overwhelm you.
Not at all.
But a lot of spots that are really good, that are tough to manage.
Correct.
Texas Tech.
D-line.
You better be able to block a little bit if you're playing them.
Yes.
They would be up there in this category.
Correct.
Oregon.
You better be able to tackle in the open space because they're going to create some space. And their running backs are filth.
Do have good backs.
I think that's the best attribute on their team. I think they got the best backs in the playoff. Besides Notre Dame.
What about when healthy A&M?
Georgia. Or I'm sorry, Oregon.
Would you take all of Oregon's or one from Ole Miss?
All of Oregon's.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
Would you take one from Notre Dame or all of Oregon's?
One from Notre Dame.
Yeah. That's an easier question.
He's a little
to
different.
answer. It's not a hard one.
He doesn't stink.
Not a hard one there.
Nope. Does not stink.
Okay, let's keep going down the list. Ole Miss.
No. Scheme. Good scheme.
A&M.
Third down package.
See,
Better not be in third and long.
I think people would say front seven defensive line, but I'm with you. I would put an asterisk next to that and say you got to get the third down first.
You better not get the third down
It
first.
gets nasty.
Well, for that to be that, I'm saying for it to be where you have no answers for it and can't deal with it, I think it has to get the third down because Texas proved first and second down might not be as undeniable as maybe we thought.
Yeah.
Prior.
Now you can get them. You can get them out of gaps, but when they get third down, buckle up.
And I'll say this: if you're gonna manage it on that down, quarterback mobility becomes a premium against them because another area that Arch absolutely torched them.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Because A&M was only 4-13 on third, but he was able to pick up some yards on the ground and at least avoid catastrophe plays, which helped manage the game in a way that they were able to go win it.
Yeah.
Oklahoma. You better be able to block. You better be able to block, and you better have a scheme that makes it not almost impossible to block it. Like, I think you need to be aided by scheme. And you know what? I'll probably go a little further. You're going to need Venables to have a Texas-like game plan if you're going to deal with that group.
Yes.
Just for whatever reason, go static for the day and say, we're not moving today. It's funny. I was talking to Glenn Ellerby, the Tennessee offensive line coach, before the game, and we were just going through different groups. And because I was asking him, I said, have you ever seen this much movement up front on first and second down? And he was like, it is not even close.
Yeah.
He goes, everybody's got run stunts and twists and this, that, whatever. He goes, he, similar to me, he just thought he could, man, I told him my theory. I said, I think these D coordinators just gotten to the point where we're going to give up plays.
Yes.
So we might as well just try to at least create a couple negatives at the same time.
100%.
Like,
All it takes is one, and the drive's dead.
and he's like, I'm exactly there with you. I think that's 100% it.
What did we talk about with Ryan Grubb a couple weeks ago? You weren't there, but we talked about it on the air afterwards. Ryan Grubb did a study that if you have less than 15% negative plays over the course of the season, negative plays being turnovers, penalties, lost yardage plays, and sacks. If you have less than 15% in a given game, you have an 88% chance of winning the football game.
Crazy.
That's
next
all they're
level
looking
stuff.
at now. They're not looking at like, of course, like turnovers too. Like all these, like turnovers, penalties, sacks, and TFLs. If they have 15% or less, 88% chance of winning the football game.
Wild to think about. Just wild to think about. We're going to get to Mark Schlabach here in just a moment. Before we do that, Greg, tell our listeners about Bromberg's.
Well, I've been going to Bromberg's for a very long time, and today is the final day. Go and take advantage. It's Bromberg's pre-Christmas 2-day sale. It started yesterday. It goes through today. The Mountain Brook and the Summit stores are 20% off throughout the store. It's diamonds, gemstones, designer jewelry, fine timepieces, fabulous giftware, everything that she'll love, all at an incredible savings. Make her Christmas wishes come true with a gift wrapped in Bromberg's signature silver box. Don't wait. The sale lasts only 2 days, and today is the final day. Some exclusions apply. See the store for details.
All right, when we come back, Mark Schlabach on the departure of Lane Kiffin next on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, Thursday, December 4th, 8:33 right here on Jocks. Mark Schlabach has a very interesting article up now at ESPN.com on the departure of Lane Kiffin from Oxford to Baton Rouge. Mark, appreciate you joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. What was the, I guess, most surprising thing you uncovered that you did not know or did not think you would learn going into this entire process?
Probably that there's an eighth grader named Bodacious Ignatius living in Oxford, Mississippi.
That's amazing.
It's the greatest SEC name ever.
Be tough to top that one.
I'm disappointed I didn't think of it. No, I think just how much division there was on the staff on whether to stay or go. I think Pete Golding, when he went from Alabama to Oxford, he went there for family reasons at the time, and it just seemed like the defensive guys I talked to had a real problem bailing on kids in the middle of a playoff run, and it seemed like the offensive guys were kind of attached at the hip to Kiffin. Charlie Weiss is coming back to coach in the playoff, but Joe Cox is gone. George McDonald, their passing game coordinator, receivers coach left. The offensive line coach stayed. I think there were some questions on whether or not he was going to keep his job, even though they've been pretty good up front, I think, Cole. So probably that. Just, they had a meeting at some point in November where it's the first anecdote in my story that, they polled the guys on where they want to go, and some of the guys are like, hell, we're in the middle of a playoff run. What are we doing?
So what was kind of the takeaway from the offensive staff? Like, why is it that they are so loyal to Kiffin? I mean, they can go and join Kiffin at any point. Why would they feel the need to go right now?
It was my understanding, and guys on staff told me, Greg, that if you didn't get on that plane to Baton Rouge on Sunday with Lane, you weren't going to have a job at LSU.
Well, Charlie Weiss is the example, though. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah. No, I think that was a negotiation.
Gotcha.
Between Keith Carter, the AD, and Lane to allow Charlie to come back.
Gotcha.
Do you believe that is potentially over and he'll just go back to Baton Rouge? Is there a chance that potentially Charlie Weiss ends up staying in Oxford?
I think they're working him hard. I think that's why Lane was initially hesitant to let him go back. He knows Pete Golding and Keith Carter want Charlie Weiss Jr. to stay. He was supposedly the primary play caller this past season. And I think their selling point to Charlie is, at some point you got to step out on your own and do it on your own, even though you might have been calling the plays. Everybody still thinks it's Lane's offense. So I think that's where they're at with that.
What was it that ultimately, because in your story you acknowledged, and I had heard the same thing, it was at first Kiffin was going to Florida. It was done. I mean, the Florida boosters were fully expecting him to be the guy. And then about a week before, all of a sudden it was all LSU. What happened there that led to LSU becoming the desirable location and not Florida?
I think he was going to Florida. I agree. Talking with people in Gainesville, they thought they had him. They thought he was locked, signed, and delivered.
Yeah.
Talking to guys down there that they kept telling me there's going to be a press conference. And then I think when Scott Woodward was pushed out as AD, I think Nick Saban and others, according to people there, told Kiffin that LSU was a better job despite the political environment there with the governor and Brian Kelly's settlement and everything else.
Yeah.
Once LSU opened it became priority number one. And Lane has never told me this, but I think once you tell Lane he can't have a job, when you want him later, he's probably not going to go out of spite. And he wanted the job when they hired Billy Napier. He wanted the Auburn job a couple of years ago, and then it ultimately stayed there, and it didn't look like Auburn was much of a factor at all. And I think he wanted LSU a while back, and Woodward wouldn't talk to him, so he was still kind of damaged goods at that point.
There was also, this is my own theory. I have not heard this from anybody, but I am of the belief Brian Kelly got fired because LSU was concerned about Lane Kiffin going to Florida. So they decided to accelerate their own process and go and get their guy that they think can elevate the program. Is there any truth to that?
Virgil Osbury hasn't said that publicly. I wouldn't be surprised if you remember when Georgia hired Kirby Smith and made the
For sure.
difficult decision to fire Mark Richt. It was because Kirby was probably going to South Carolina, and that accelerated that. So yeah, I think they got tired of losing and getting embarrassed at home by Texas A&M. But I think there could be some validity to that for sure.
Mark Schlabach joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. His article up now, ESPN.com. We'll tweet that out from the show's accounts. You'll be able to go check that out and read it. Interesting stuff, to say the least. We were debating a little bit earlier, Mark, because there are two sides to this. If you take a step back, take a deep breath, you can kind of see both. Was there a way, realistically, in your opinion, after what you've looked through, what you have found, for these two to sort of meet in the middle? Or when this was just begun happening, that Lane was even looking, was this doomed to fail at some point, one way or the other?
I think there were serious conversations. If Auburn had beaten Alabama in the Iron Bowl, I think they would have allowed him to coach in the SEC championship game because it was such a short turnaround. Ole Miss hadn't won an SEC title in 60 years. I think that would have been a compromise, but they told him from day one when he started looking at other jobs, you're not going to coach this team in the playoff. If you go to Florida or LSU, you're not going to a rival SEC school, and coach our kids and be in the building and continue to recruit them to go into the portal. And that's probably still going to happen. No question about it. But the fact that he was going to LSU, which Ole Miss considers its biggest rival, right or wrong, even bigger than Mississippi State, no. And I think part of it is also that, Lane had been so coy about the whole thing that, somebody told me, I didn't put it in the story, they weren't not allowing the LSU coach to coach Ole Miss. They weren't letting LSU coach Lane Kiffin coach at Ole Miss anymore. I just think there was a concern among the Ole Miss administration, how much could they trust Lane Kiffin?
One thing that I hadn't heard was the involvement of Florida State that was in your article as well, which was fascinating. For those that haven't read it, you need to check it out on ESPN.com. But walk us through that process with Florida State's involvement in this whole situation.
It was an option, and one of the Ole Miss coaches, again, I didn't put it in the story, said we kind of thought it was a joke. Yes, there were two really good options in the SEC, and Florida State has been a train wreck the past couple of seasons. But somebody told me last night that Alford's dad and Monty Kiffin's dad had coached together at some point, and as I put in the story, they'd worked together at USC when Lane was an assistant under Pete Carroll. Alford had been an associate AD there at the time. I think when Mike Norvell was thinking about replacing Nick Saban at Alabama, I think there was some communication there at the time too with Kiffin. Hey, if we can't keep Norvell, you're our guy. And I think Lane has always thought that Florida State was an attractive job because it's the easier path to get to the college football playoff in the ACC. But I think clearly when he looked at everything and Jimmy Sexton looked at everything, they didn't feel like they could get the financial resources in terms of NIL and rev sharing that they would get at either Florida or LSU.
Wild times, Mark. Unbelievable. I mean, is this from a coaching change perspective? Is there a comp to this? Is there anything you can look at and say, yeah, that was similar to that one? Or I look back at how this thing went and it mirrored that to a certain extent, or does this thing just stand out there by itself?
It stands alone because it's Lane. I was talking to Pete Thamel and Marty Smith over the weekend, and Marty by Saturday afternoon looked at me and said, "Man, I'm just not built for this stuff. I don't know how y'all do this." And Pete does like 30 a year, and Pete's an absolute rock star when it comes to these things. He'd already been to game day and back. Where were they last week? Ann Arbor. So he flew home to Boston. He and I were up till like 2:00 in the morning Central Time Saturday night working on this. And we're just beat to the nub. And maybe Tennessee, when they ended up with Jeremy Pruitt and they went through Schiano and the AD was trying to hire Mike Leach and they fired the AD for trying to hire Mike Leach, that one was a mess. And they had an agreement with Schiano at one point, a memo of understanding, and voided it. So that one was a train wreck. And then they ended up with Pruitt, who ended up putting him on probation and putting cash in McDonald's bag. Somebody was. So that one was a little bit crazy as well. But this one, it wasn't as bad as his exit from Tennessee because the students were gone, where I think it would have gotten ugly. But that scene at the airport, guys, I got a photo of like a 6-year-old kid shooting double birds to Lane Kiffin as he flew off, and that's the cover of my future Lane Kiffin biography at some point.
Well, hold on, Mark. I could, if there were cell phones at this time when the bus was pulling into the stadium in Baton Rouge, I could have given you that plus rocks being thrown at the bus by 6 and 7-year-olds. Yeah. So I mean that's like an every game thing down there.
But say rocks is nothing.
He's walking right into that one, so that might be to his benefit. I don't know. It's an awesome.
My favorite quote in the whole story was Verge Osbury, the LSU AD, when they told him they were diverting the planes to Oxford. He said, "We're going where? Oxford? They'll shoot missiles at us."
Saw that. Unbelievable. Didn't know whether to take that as an accusation or sarcasm, but either way, it was entertaining to say the least.
If they had
sarcasm with a hint of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only in the SEC, boys.
It's the best,
no doubt. Mark, thanks for the time, man. Great article. We'll share it, get some more people on it, and I appreciate you hopping on to discuss it today.
Yep. Happy holidays, guys. Thank you.
Same to you. Mark Schleybaugh of ESPN joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. His article up now at ESPN.com on Lane's departure. Are you surprised that he says the departure from Tennessee was worse than this?
Yes. Very surprised.
Yeah, because I understand what he's saying about, students or whatever, but I think when you're talking about all of it and the distractions and how long it went, I would say this one was worse. Not even close.
I just don't remember that one.
I was in
college. I was in college, and it didn't even cross my mind. Granted, it was, I was a 22-year-old kid. I didn't even faze me. Oh, Lane's leaving? Oh, he's going to USC? I get it. You know what I mean? That was kind of like my reaction. But he went in guns a-blazing to Tennessee. He's ripping on Urban. He's ripping on Bama. I mean, he was ripping everybody. I mean, I think Lane really likes being the heel, too.
Oh, no, he thrives in it.
He loves being the bad guy.
100%.
He loves being hated. It's unbelievable. Like, he's the only guy that, loves it.
No, he is literally the Iron Sheik of the SEC.
He loves it.
He thrives on it. I think it motivates him. I think it pushes him. I think it gets him going. There's no doubt.
No question.
He is more of a lot of things that makes him great when that is what the environment is, and that is how he's being treated. I think he, like you said, I think he absolutely thrives in it.
Yes.
And likes it. And you know what's interesting is I had kind of forgotten about this. I was joining a podcast yesterday, and we talked about this game coming up next year with LSU going to Oxford. I forgot I was on the Tennessee game the first time he went back.
Oh, yeah.
To Knoxville. And it would be an interesting case study for some of these folks that are talking about this game next year to go back and look at that and find some of the pregame footage. I mean, when he first came out, because we got there early, because we wanted to be there when the students were there and he walked out.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you're talking about. They were booing him and throwing stuff on the field, and he's sitting there doing the Hogan thing to his ear.
Oh, he loves it.
Trying to get him going, and you're just like, this guy is in his element right now.
He loves it.
And it was the whole time. I think he threw his visor up into the stands after the game. I mean, it was, showing me the golf ball after the game in our post-game interview. He was all about it. He came out, has hood up and his hoodie, he was playing to it, and he knew what he was doing, and he was poking them without even having to do anything. And he was in his element. I forgot just how rowdy that scene was, even before the game got wild.
Yes.
Because there were a couple of calls that Tennessee fans didn't like. But if you go back and look at them, I still believe both the calls were correct.
No.
Not sure mustard bottles were required to be thrown on field at time.
Come on.
Or vape pens.
Stop.
What do you call the vape thing that has it? It's like the size of a pack of cigarettes and has like it's clear and you can see the liquid in it.
Oh, a
Cartridge?
loser horn.
A horn?
Loser horn.
Oh, well, no. What?
I'm
you
unfamiliar.
You can't do that to those people. But,
I'm
I mean, we
unfamiliar.
don't trust.
People that you said you don't
we don't
trust.
trust.
Oh, okay.
No,
all right.
trust and referencing people
okay.
as losers are totally different.
Okay.
I'm about to get on the vape next year.
Case in point.
Just to bust Cole's chops. I'm gonna start it up.
What are we doing? I don't trust you anyway, so you don't need that.
I really want
Seriously, what do you call that?
I don't know.
Pin,
but
cartridge?
I can tell you this.
Machine?
I can remember this vividly. In 2008, our return to Baton Rouge, when Nick Saban was on the sideline, and it was like, dude, they were burning him.
They had the billboard, right?
They were burning him in effigy. They burned a Nick Saban stick figure. I guess you could call it. Maybe it was a body, like a dummy deal. Like it was burning outside at a tailgate.
It's called a voodoo doll, Greg.
Yes. Well, whatever it was outrageously hostile. And LSU's hostile anyways. So it didn't require much to turn up the temperature on that game. And we were undefeated in 08 going into Baton Rouge. I think they were pretty good. I don't remember how good, but I think they were pretty good. They had won the national championship the year before, right? So they were pretty good. But goodness gracious alive, I really want to do Ole Miss LSU next year. We don't have a date on that game yet, right?
No, you will find out December 11th on the SEC Network.
You doing that show?
I am on that show.
Let's ride.
Tell you two other things I'm not on, but we will skip that.
Here
Be back
we go.
next on Jocks.
Oh, goodness.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Wimp Sanderson coming up at 9 a.m. Richard Cross at 9:30. He spoke to Keith Carter yesterday, and we'll get his thoughts on that conversation. Keith Carter saying that some of what has been shared from the other camp, maybe not 100% accurate. I know that shocked everyone when they heard that maybe some things had been exaggerated and potentially twisted just a smidge with how they had been shared publicly. But, yeah.
It surprised me to hear that everyone was on the up and up there.
Surprised you that
everybody wasn't on the same page.
Some of the first responders in Oxford said that maybe the running off the road story might not have been completely accurate.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that.
As you said, there are going to be theatrics, and Lane enjoys those. So
he loves it.
Maybe don't be completely surprised by some of the things that you hear or how some things are described. Just sort of what it is.
Yes.
So there you go. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere. Let's go to Zach in San Antonio. Wants to talk Lane Kiffin. Welcome in, Zach. You're on the Higginbotham Hotline.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Great show. First time, long time. Real quick on Lane. How do y'all think he's going to operate now kind of mentally? He's always kind of used that me against the Goliath mentality and kind of me and this band of misfits taking on, the powers that be and the quote-unquote blue bloods. And, I mean, that's just kind of always been his MO, from talking trash to, the A&M players, and him against Jimbo and all the 5 stars and the one-on-ones with the Oklahoma players after the game. Well, now that he is one of those guys and is in a situation that he used to use as kind of mental fuel and motivation, I'm just wondering kind of that mental aspect of that, and how do y'all think he's going to have to manufacture a new form of kind of motivation and a little bit of moxie? I'm just kind of curious on y'all's take on that.
Yeah, I'm interested in a lot of how – I appreciate the call. I'm interested in a lot of where Lane goes next in sort of just management mentality. The high school versus portal, Greg. I think we all believe that that'll shift from, 50-50, 40-60, whatever it's been, to more 70-30, 80-20 high school. But what if that's not as advantageous to him winning right now?
Yeah.
There are years that in-state classes or just overall classes, specifically from positions that you need or want right now, aren't as good, and maybe he continues to attack the portal that way. I mean, keep in mind, LSU has had great success through the portal themselves, just in general. I mean, need we remind you about a Joe Burrow, a Jaden Daniels, this year, a Jack Pyburn up front on defense, a Patrick Payton up front on defense, Joshua Halsey on the back end of that. They've had really good players in the portal. And their offensive line's been propped up by the portal for 5 or 6 years now? I mean, Will Campbell, not a portal guy, but they've had multiple guys play a lot of games and play good football up front from the portal. So it's not like he can't find success there through that, but I am interested in which direction he goes.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be high school recruiting. I think they might have to use the portal initially, but eventually it's going to be high school recruiting.
Yeah.
Which long-term is, I think, the best way to build a program. I mean, I've always believed that. That's not changing. Like, if you look at the teams that are at the top of the college football world right now, with the exception of Indiana, who has had to jumpstart their engine, it's been high school recruiting. Georgia, with supplementation in the portal. Ohio State, supplementation in the portal. But mostly high school recruiting.
Fair enough. All right, we'll ask Wimp Sanderson his thoughts on Lane Kiffin to LSU next, right here on Jocks.